Welcome to this explainer. Listen, if you've ever felt that familiar flutter of nerves right before you open your mouth to sing, or if you've ever run completely out of air in the middle of a sentence and just felt that sudden panic, I want you to know you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to completely reframe how you think about breathing. By the end of our time together, you're going to understand how your breath truly works, which is absolutely crucial because it's going to relieve so much of that performance anxiety and make singing feel remarkably easy. So let me ask you a quick question. Right before you sing, has anyone ever told you to take a massive breath and hold it? It's an incredibly common piece of advice, but honestly, it is terrible advice. Just think about how that actually feels in your body. When you try to grab a huge amount of air and freeze it in place, what happens? Your chest locks up, your neck gets tight, and you instantly create this literal wall of tension. You're fighting your own body before you've even made a single sound. Okay, so here's our anchor message for today. If you take absolutely nothing else away from this explainer, let it be this. Breath is motion, not storage. Your breath is the engine of your voice. It's a steady, governed motion of air that powers your sound. Your lungs are not some storage tank where air gets locked away and hoarded. Air flows in, and your body gracefully guides how it flows back out. That moving air is exactly what sets your voice buzzing. To get there, here's our roadmap. We'll cover 1. The muscles that move air. 2. One full breath cycle. 3. What support really means. 4. Where breath meets voice. 5. Staying loose and feeling. And 6. Ready for the next pillar. Let's dive right in. Starting with section 1, the muscles that move air. So fun fact, your lungs actually don't have any muscles of their own. They only fill and empty because the muscles around them make room and gently squeeze. First up in that team is the diaphragm. And what's really interesting here is that your diaphragm is largely involuntary when you sing. You can't just boss it around directly like you would your bicep. It's this dome-shaped muscle sitting right under your lungs. When you need air, it naturally drops down to make space, and when you sing, it just floats back up, all on its own. You don't force it, you guide it by using the muscles around it. Which brings us to the muscles you actually can steer. First up, your rib muscles. These sit right between your ribs, and their whole job is to keep your ribs opening outward, kind of like a fan. When you start to sing a note, you use these muscles to keep your chest feeling buoyant, wide, and open. You definitely want to avoid letting your chest collapse and cave in the second the sound starts. Next, we have your belly muscles, or your abdominals. These are the other major muscles you can steer. Think of your belly muscles as your built-in control valve. You use them to gently regulate the speed at which your air leaves your body. And notice I said gently. You never want to clench them hard or brace yourself like you're about to be punched in the stomach. They need to stay responsive and alive to just beautifully meter out the air. But here's the catch. None of these muscles can do their job if your body is all collapsed. Good posture is what gives your breath a steady home. Think about it. If you're slumping over, your chest caves in and basically squishes your lungs. No matter how hard those breathing muscles try to work, a slumped torso simply cannot manage air well. Standing tall, balanced, and open, that gives your breathing engine the exact physical foundation it absolutely needs to thrive. Moving right along to section 2, one full breath cycle. Let's actually put those muscles into action and walk through a single, complete breath cycle in real time. Picture a singing breath in these 4 really simple steps. Step 1, breathe in. Your diaphragm drops and air flows in low and wide. It's quiet, not a frantic gulp. Step 2 is the turn. Right at the top of that inhale, there is this calm moment where you switch from taking air in to letting it out. You do not lock or hold your breath here. It's just a smooth, peaceful change of direction. Step 3, sing on a steady release. Your rib muscles keep you open, your belly muscles guide the speed, and you let the air out evenly. And finally, step 4, refill smoothly. When the phrase ends, you just relax, and your body naturally invites the next breath in without gasping at all. Okay, section 3, what support really means. The word support is probably the most misunderstood, confusing, and sometimes flat-out scary word in all of vocal training. But let's simplify it right now. Support just means guiding how fast your air flows out, not holding your ribs stiff or pushing. It definitely doesn't mean shoving your air out violently, and it doesn't mean freezing your body into a stiff statue. You are simply the steady, guiding hand on the airflow. Imagine you're pouring water from a pitcher into a really small glass. You don't dump it all at once, right? And you don't squeeze the pitcher. You just tilt it and guide the flow smoothly. Well, that is exactly what true vocal support is. Up next, section 4, where breath meets voice.
So now we're moving slightly higher up in the body. We have this beautifully managed, steady stream of air moving upward, and we need to look at exactly where that breath meets your voice, specifically your vocal folds. Your moving breath and your vocal folds are partners in this. And notice what happens when that partnership is out of whack. If you push way too much air against your vocal folds, it actually blows them apart. And that creates a tight, squeezed, strained tone that's going to tire you out so quickly. On the flip side, if you give too little air, your tone becomes weak, breathy, and airy. What we are really looking for is that Goldilocks zone. Just right. You want exactly enough steady air meeting those folds to keep them buzzing clearly, but not so much that it completely overwhelms them. Let me tell you, when you find this perfect balance, that matched responsive flow, singing suddenly feels almost entirely effortless. The sound rings out bright and clear simply because you aren't fighting yourself anymore. Let's look at how to maintain that in Section 5, staying loose and feeling. The big secret to keeping that perfect balance isn't about gaining more muscular, rigid control. It's actually about staying loose and tapping into your feelings. We so often think that to be steady, we have to be completely rigidly still. But in your body, real steadiness comes from staying flexible. Your breath and your voice are in this constant conversation, making hundreds of tiny little micro adjustments every single second to keep your tone even. If you lock your ribs tight or freeze your posture, you completely interrupt that beautiful conversation. Staying loose beats holding tight every single time. And here is honestly the most magical part of this whole system. Your feelings actually shape your breath all on their own. Think about it for a second. You naturally gasp when you're surprised, or you sigh when you're relieved. If you try to manage your breath purely with your muscles, you're ignoring this incredible built-in intelligence. Next time you sing, I want you to imagine you're telling an important secret to a friend across the room. Notice how just connecting to that genuine emotion automatically steadies your breath and organizes your body. When you feel safe and connected to your message, your breath manages itself beautifully. Finally, let's wrap up with Section 6, ready for the next pillar. We have built such an incredible foundation today. We know how to stand tall, let the air drop in low, turn the breath calmly, and release it in a steady, guided stream that's driven by emotion and flexibility. So I want to leave you with a thought to chew on. We've mastered the engine, right? We have the fuel, this gorgeous, steady air moving upward smoothly and efficiently. But what exactly is that air buzzing against to make sound? How do two tiny pieces of tissue in your throat turn a simple breeze into a powerful song? Well, that physical magic is our next pillar, and I absolutely cannot wait to explore it with you in our next explainer. Until then, stay loose, keep that air moving, and happy singing.